Hello, fellow nerds, and welcome to Our Nerdiest Thing. Today, we are live with a very special guest, writer Elizabeth Kirke. Woo! Elizabeth wanted to be an author before she even knew what an author was. She used to say that she wanted to be an artist, but that was only because she was too young to write and had to tell stories with pictures instead. She hasn't stopped writing since she learned how. It wasn't long before she dreamed of becoming an author and couldn't be happier now that that dream is a reality. If she isn't writing, let's be honest, if she's not writing, she's probably on Facebook thinking that she should start writing. But if she isn't writing or on Facebook, she's probably doing something involving books, baking, gardening, or yarn. In an ideal world, she'd be reading and knitting while something from the garden is in the oven. Then again, in an ideal world, she'd have a flock of ducks and a couple of goats.
Nice.
Welcome to the podcast, Elizabeth.
You need
Thank you.
goats and sheep so you can make your own yarn.
Exactly.
Yeah, is that why you would have them?
Actually, no, I just really like goats.
Okay. So what's the most difficult thing you've ever knit?
Probably a sweater.
Ooh, yeah.
I got a sweater, and it came out like 6 inches too short. So then I had to cut it and like knit part of it again and attach it. It was really complicated. And
yeah, following
never did
my
that
daughter
again.
crochets and everything she makes ends up being a crop top. So thank
I was
goodness
just
they're
thinking.
in style right now.
Right, crop
Yeah.
tops are in.
There you
So
go.
if it's
That's
too short,
perfect.
that's
Yeah.
okay.
I love the whole granny chic that's in right now. It's really fun. It works well for nerds.
Is there
Right.
anything else that you can tell us about yourself besides what was in your intro? I feel like you've got like a word play with yarn and like spinning yarns and telling tales.
I
Isn't that
should.
yeah,
I
like
should. Yeah, I had
She's a
someone
yarn
like
and book spinster.
someone made me a live journal account like 20 years ago, and they called it like knitting a tale, and I was like, oh, that's so clever, and then I never
Cool.
used it again.
that's cute.
That sounds like a
yeah.
But
novella
it was
to
really
me.
cute. Right? I liked that. But I write, I do all that stuff. I have 3 kids, 7 and younger. And
Oh, good fun times.
always busy.
I feel you. I have a 9-year-old
other
and a
stuff going
4-year-old.
Yeah, there you go.
Mindy and I were smart and had our kids a long time ago.
Well, you're just older than I am.
No, we are not.
Only in actual age, not in.
I'd say
Maturity.
my most mature out of all 3 of us.
You actually probably are the most mature out of all 3 of us.
That's true.
Well, Elizabeth, I actually just recently read the first in your More Than Magic series, Semester Aboard, and I
Really cool.
really enjoyed it. And
Oh, I'm glad.
I'm not usually an urban fantasy somebody that really gets into that because I think it's really difficult to write magic in a contemporary world, right? And you do it so well. So can you tell us a little bit more about your More Than Magic series?
Yeah, so it's a 9-book series, a lot of books, and then like a ton of other stuff. Like there's serials happening and all this other extra stuff. And it starts off. It's a girl named Jen, and she goes on a cruise, like a college campus cruise, and she meets up with some people who are not quite human, not quite what they seem, and she kind of gets pulled into their little magical. I don't need that. They're a little magical world, and then starts learning about magic and all the fun creatures. And one of the big tropes in it is found family. So they end up, like a little family, and then the rest of the books are their various misadventures.
Cool.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's neat.
I'm so
The whole-
glad. Yeah.
Yeah, the setting of being like at a semester at sea was just perfect. And I don't want to
Right.
give anything away, but there's like mermaids and like it's just so cool.
I'm going to go ahead and say that you have not sent me that for your review. For
I actually did,
Instagram.
and you've already posted it.
I did. Oh, well, I'm just so good at what I
She's so
do.
good. It wasn't
I was
just
like, I don't
recently.
have that.
It wasn't like, I mean, I read it a few months ago.
Oh,
It's
okay,
been a
okay.
little bit. Yeah. But so what are your favorite types of stories to write? Is this kind of like your
This one,
niche?
I've written a bunch of different like various genres and stories and stuff, but this one is kind of the one I keep. That's why there's 9 of them. I just kind of keep coming back to this one. Like I like the world, I like the characters.
Yeah.
I
Do
like
the characters
the trope.
change each book, Elizabeth, or is it based around the same?
It is the same group of characters. In later books, in the first 3 books, it's just one of them narrating, but then in later books, they start to they start to kind of trade places and different people narrate depending on what's going on. And for I'm actually on Patreon, and right now I'm writing the entire thing over again from different points of view that people
wow.
are voting
Oh, wow.
on, and they're voting
Like
on
that.
who they want to do the next chapter. And
So has
so
anything
there.
come from that where you're like, I didn't know that character was doing that at this time? Have you been surprised by that process?
No, and that's kind of part of why I was willing to do this is these characters, like I created them over a decade ago now, and when people even years ago would joke that my characters were like real people and they could ask me anything and I would be like, oh, I know exactly what they're doing, like, yeah, I'll tell you all about it. So it's been really easy to kind of jump back and see what they're doing, because I just kind of like, I feel like it's a real thing and that I'm there and I know exactly what they're up to and what they're thinking and doing. And they've developed, it's a very character driven series, so they've developed so much that it's just really easy to jump into one of their heads and start writing.
Is it like going back to your college reunion with these?
Right.
Like
Yeah.
college
Yeah. It's
friends,
like,
right?
yeah, exactly. They're my old college buddies.
Are there any of them that you ended up liking more than you thought you would when you were writing all 9 books?
Yeah. I definitely I assumed Jen, the main character, would like be my favorite, because she's not the only girl, but she's one of the only girls, and she's like has a lot of stuff in common with me, of course, because it was my first book and I was like 20 when I was writing it. But one of the characters, Danny, ended up being my favorite. He got his own spin-off book, and he ended up being the reader favorite too. And the more they got into him, the more I was like, oh yeah, actually he's kind of awesome. So he took over.
Oh, that's awesome.
So cool. So was there a particular book that just really inspired you to write? Was there one that you can like pinpoint? That's the book I read that was like, oh yeah, I want to do this.
I don't know if I could ever pinpoint one. I feel like I was reading Mercedes Lackey when I started really seriously, like kind of going from, I had all the different kind of careers I wanted as a kid. I want to be a vet, I want to be a teacher, I want to do this and that. And then somewhere along the way, like around the age when I was reading Mercedes Lackey as like my main books, I just suddenly was like, you know what, I'm going to be an author. And that's when I started seriously writing and doing all that.
Awesome.
Can I ask, a 9-book series, did you always know that you wanted it to be 9 books? Did you have the story that fleshed out?
Absolutely not.
Yeah. Because I was just thinking that's really ambitious.
It's really, I actually, the first book, I actually kind of made the rookie mistake where everything at the end gets like tied up with a neat little bow. And then as I was wrapping up the second book, I was like, it's almost a standalone and I don't really know where to go from here. So you can see a gap between the second and third book, because I just wasn't sure how to get the story around. And then there was actually 5 years between the third and the fourth where I was trying to just I had a bunch of ideas. I couldn't really get them all down. And then someone I know was writing a serial, and she was releasing a short book every month. And I was like, that's the format that I've been missing. That's what this plot line needs. And they ended up being longer than serials, but I was able to sit down and get the next 6 out pretty fast.
Wow, that's awesome.
Nice. So one of the things that we talk about on our podcast, which is called Our Nerdiest Thing, is the kind of nerdy things and nerdy fandoms and just the fun stuff that we get involved in. Are there any fandoms that you like to be involved in?
Oh gosh, I back in the day, actually the first draft of Semester Aboard was posted in a Harry Potter fan fiction website that had it's not a Harry Potter fan fiction, but it had like an original section. Okay. And that's where, after I like had my audience, because I wrote fan fiction, I was like, I have my own book that like I'm going to post here and see what people think. And
that's awesome.
That's so cool.
Took off from there.
You were with your people, so
I was with my people. Yeah, so it worked out. Yeah.
And you are not the first author that we have interviewed that has talked about the Harry Potter fan fiction sites. So it's a common community for emerging
I don't know what
writers.
it's like anymore, but like 10, 15 years ago, it was
It was the place to be.
Yeah.
I will say that I feel like fan fiction is making a resurgence right
I've
now.
noticed
And
that.
I feel like
Yeah.
the, Draco and Hermione, the Manacled book, and a bunch of those, like that you've seen this like because I feel like when Harry Potter was out, fan fiction was a huge thing.
Yeah.
Died out,
And then
except for
kinda-
50 Shades, which was apparently Twilight fanfic.
Right.
What? And then it really died out
Yeah.
the last 10 years, and now it's
Yeah,
all
I feel like
back, and I
there
love
wasn't
it.
a lot of. Yeah.
Yeah, what is that website where you can get those books? What's that called? AO3. What's that stand
Yeah.
for?
AO3. I think.
AO3. I can't
Yeah.
remember what it stands for.
But I love it.
Archive of our own.
Thank
Yes,
you.
thank you.
See, we just
Our
needed
type
to ask a fellow nerd.
Yeah, there
Um,
we go.
Okay, so speaking of being nerdy, we're gonna go into our nerdy and dirty speed round. Is this me or you?
No, it's you.
Okay. Whitney color codes things and she changed it this time, so I was confused because I don't know my colors apparently. I've been the same color. So we're gonna go into the nerdy and dirty speed round, and I want you to just answer the first answer off the top of your head. Okay. Authors tend to want to think about it. No thinking.
Right. All right.
Okay. All right. Favorite fandom.
Lord of the Rings.
Favorite female main character.
I don't know if I have one.
Is it your own?
Jen.
Yeah, just my own. It's Jen. Yeah, obviously,
Yeah.
of course.
What's your most binge-worthy book series?
The Lindsay Sands Argino books.
Oh, okay.
I
How
know
many
that.
are
I
in that
have
series?
binged that series. That was like my college. I don't know what to read, and I would just read all of them over and over
Cool.
again.
Yeah. And what about your most binge-worthy TV?
Oh gosh. I am gonna say, oh gosh, my husband just put it on the other day and we started watching it. And I was like, why are we watching this? We have other shows to watch. And now I can't remember what show.
What's it about?
Was it Vanderpump Rules?
No. Oh my gosh, I can't remember what the show is now. Sleepy Hollow. We just
Oh,
put
Sleepy
on.
Hollow.
We've been binging.
Okay, so what's a book character or who is a book character you'd get nerdy and dirty with?
Legolas.
Yeah. What is your favorite slow burn book or series?
I don't think I read a lot of slow burn.
All right, we can skip that one.
I either don't read romance or like it's all about the.
Yeah, it's all about it.
Yeah, it's all about it. Yeah.
We're that way too. So what fantasy world power would you want to have?
I think I would want to talk to animals.
Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be a cool one. I do want to know if they think we're like super dumb or if they're like
Right?
inspired to be like us. They
Yeah.
probably think we're dumb. Okay,
Yeah, I think so.
Supernatural, the television show, yay or nay?
Yay.
Oh yeah, Dean Winchester.
Right answer.
Correct.
Smut or plot?
Plot.
Favorite childhood book?
Is Mercedes Lackey too older? Childhood
No, I
book?
think that's
Probably
fine.
Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
Nancy Drew when I was a kid.
Ooh, yeah.
I like that too.
What book are you currently reading, or what's the last book you finished and loved?
It wasn't the most recent one, but Legends and Lattes.
Okay, yeah,
Yes.
I am gonna have to talk to you about that one at
Void
Imaginarium. I
in
have
my
feelings.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna do fantasy tropes, yay or nay. Okay.
Okay.
Hated mates,
Yay.
enemies to lovers,
Yay.
forbidden love,
Nay.
class differences in terms of different fantasy species,
Yay.
love triangles,
Nay.
secret or hidden identity,
Yay.
social commentary,
Yay.
true love's kiss,
Nay.
lovers on opposite sides of a war,
Yay.
reluctant companions on a quest.
Yay.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, like, I feel like that's kind of your thing.
Yay.
Okay, so we are so excited to see you at Imaginarium,
Yeah, I'm so excited.
actually really, really soon.
Oh.
But what other projects, events, festivals are you doing that our listeners should know about?
Gosh, I'm going to Once Upon a Book in Michigan in July. I've worked with the organizer since for a decade. So I'm so excited to actually be going to it for the first time, going there. One of my books is nominated for best audiobook. You should go vote for. vote for my book.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Send us
Yes.
send us the link and we'll put it when we post this so
Yeah.
people can vote. For it.
Absolutely, yeah.
How long is that voting going on?
I
Do you
have
know?
no idea. It probably closes. I would imagine well before, because I know she orders awards and stuff. But
Oh, okay. Well, hopefully we can get this
Yeah,
up and to put
I
that
can
up. But if
promote
not,
it
when it's
all
about to
over,
close,
yeah.
ping us and we'll put it in our
Yeah,
stories.
absolutely. I'll let you know. Yeah, thank you. So I've got that coming up. I've got Imaginarium. I have hopefully a new audiobook coming out shortly in the More Than Magic series. 7 of the 9 are on audio.
Ooh,
good.
great.
4 of them are available for free on YouTube.
Oh,
So
really?
this is
Okay.
one that'll
I
be
love
going on.
audiobooks.
This
I'll
is
have to
one
go
that'll be
listen.
going on YouTube as well.
Is
that's-
that on your like subscriber page, or where can we find that on YouTube?
Yeah, it's posted in a bunch of my links, and you can also do like go to channel Elizabeth Kirke, and I'll be
Okay, cool. I'm gonna
there
go
with
find it. Can't wait.
all my audiobooks. What else am I doing? I've got a really big thing coming up, but I can't talk about it until the contract is signed and we know it's happening.
Ooh.
So
Stay tuned.
kind of excited about that. And I just started a ream. I don't know if that's even hit your radar
A
yet,
bunch
because
of
they haven't.
authors are starting to
they're-
get on here.
They're going live. Their grand unveiling is in like a week. So
Okay.
that's when it's
We'll
gonna.
have
So
to
I've got
check
a
it
Ream
out.
account. My whole More Than Magic series is available there, along with all the other extra behind the scenes and early access goodies.
Fun. You
Nice.
are
Oh, that's
busy.
Awesome.
I know.
Yeah.
Very
I know,
busy.
and when something requires a contract, I'm really excited for you.
Yeah, that's
I'm very
awesome.
excited. So it's
Congratulations.
gonna be fun.
So, Elizabeth, one of our favorite things about doing this podcast is just being part of the book online community and how
Yeah, absolutely.
supportive everybody is of
I
each
love it.
other. So, we would love to know how we can best support you as an author.
Yeah, this is awesome. Just
Do it again.
reading, share, reviewing stuff, mostly sharing it, spreading the word. Right now, my big kind of target is getting those subscribers on YouTube, which is just clicking a button, because I'm not monetized till I get
Yeah.
my subscriber minimum. So I'm giving away my audiobooks for free. And
Smart.
then trying to get people joining Ream, joining my Patreon, just building up those communities.
And so, what is it? Just Elizabeth Kirke on the YouTube? What's the
Yeah.
name? The handle?
On
It's
the
Elizabeth.
YouTube.
I think
On
it's
the
just Elizabeth
YouTube.
Kirke on the
Sorry,
YouTube.
I'm 85 years old.
I think it's just like youtube.com/c/Elizabeth Kirke.
Okay.
Cool.
Kirk with an
Yeah.
E on the end. Not
Remember a
Kirky,
minute
but-
ago when you said you were the youngest person in the room? I got on the
I didn't
YouTube.
say I was the youngest person in the room. I was just saying you had your kids before I did because you're older than I am. You know what I'm saying?
Well, but if you said that we're both older than you, then you definitely said you're the youngest
No,
one.
but I didn't say it like that. That's fine. So you're on YouTube, you're on Instagram, you're on
Instagram.
Ream,
Facebook,
even though this
Ream.
granny doesn't know what that is.
Yeah, Ream.
Um,
Brand new.
where else can we find you? And
I'm
are
also
those
on
the big
Patreon.
three?
I have a newsletter. I have Facebook. I've got both a Facebook page and a Facebook group. And I've got a very small, like super awesome Discord channel where we basically just read all the books together and talk about them and geek out, and then
That's awesome.
start all over again.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
digging the
awesome.
author threads on Discord right now. They're
Yeah.
really, really neat.
They're fun.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Elizabeth, we like to end all of our podcast episodes by sharing our nerdiest thing of that week, something that we geeked out about or we're really excited about. So we would love to know, what is your nerdiest thing of the week?
I think honestly, my nerdiest thing of the week was not books, but I went full history nerd today. Actually, author Stacey Rourke is in town, and I took her
Cool.
and her kids to Mount Vernon, where I used to work
Oh,
George Washington's estate, and I gave them the
Yes.
whole tour, and I dredged up all my half forgotten knowledge from when I worked there and told them all the
Did you watch the movie?
which
you go
movie.
in,
We
at
did not go
Mount?
in, no, with the snow. No,
Yeah.
we didn't go in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
womp
we took our time with me taking them everywhere else and talking all about.
Isn't Mount Vernon close to us?
No,
It should
Mount
be.
Vernon. I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't know. Where are you?
Where's Mount Vernon, Elizabeth?
It's in Virginia.
It's
Oh,
like it's
It's
close
outside,
to
it's right
DC.
outside DC.
What's on the other side of us that's Mount something? Over
Mount
by
Washington?
No, by St. Louis. She's being a jackass.
I literally thought that's what you were talking about.
We'll discuss
Anyway,
this later.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
Mount Vernon, we are not super far from Virginia. We're in Kentucky. Yeah.
Sure.
Shut up.
Well, that honestly, that sounds really fun. I used to teach 8th grade, and we went on a field trip to DC, and Mount Vernon was part of it. And
yeah, you probably
Gettysburg
like
also. It was
saw
really
me
cool.
there trying to hide because the 8th graders were
I was trying to
memorable.
get from them too.
memorable.
She no longer teaches.
Yeah, I don't teach anymore.
I heard, I got
They
that.
killed her spirit.
Well, that's awesome. Elizabeth, thank you so much for being on the podcast.
Yeah, thank
We're
you so
really
much for having
excited.
me.
We're excited to meet you
Yeah.
in person. Hopefully
Yes,
get to
that's-
chit chat a little bit.
yeah,
at
that'll be great.
Imaginarium.
Yeah, come find me. I'll be there.
I've got
We
some road
will.
trips coming up beforehand, so I'll make sure I at least get your first book in before.
Yeah, that's all right. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Can't wait.
awesome.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Yeah,
Have
thank
a
you.
great
Nice to
night.
meet you.
Yeah. Bye.
Good night.
Good night.